The fact that he's got T-Rex arms. I'd love to just swing hands at Khamzat in the middle of an elevator. Oh, Paddy the Baddy. Hitting it up with a fucking belter. What's up, guys? I'm Ian Machado Garry, and today with MMA On Point, we're breaking down the UFC's biggest personalities.
Fighting out of Dublin, the future, Ian Garry!
You know what's a classic? Anderson Silva front-kicking Vitor Belfort. It's not a true classic though, is it? Well there, steady on. It's me, Balian, and our friends at True Classic have hooked us up with 25% off their fitted t-shirts for this holiday season. With an exclusive link, trueclassic.com/MMA-on-point. How festively nice of them. If you don't know True Classic by now, they're changing the game with their fitted t-shirts. They make you feel like Paulo Costa on the Secret Juice. Look, not all t-shirts are created equally, and sometimes the fit can rock your confidence like a Francis Ngannou uppercut. What makes True Classic different? Their shirts taper off around the bottom, but they fit tight across the chest and shoulders. Sexy. Including this guy. Why are we swimming? So if you're looking to up your t-shirt game, give these guys a try. The link is in the description. And you'll get 25% off with MMA On Point.
Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley he's very recognisable, which is brilliant for fans, especially for casual fans. They notice the hair. His wife is probably the one to be giving the shout out to on that, and I think he spoke about that before. The last fight decision, he put on a show. Like, that was an amazing fight against one of the best guys in that division. Whether he won it or not, at the end of the day, his hand got raised. I like what Sean's done, because he's gone, I'm not getting paid enough to fight these elite level guys who are getting paid hundreds of thousands to have an attitude of like, do you know what, I don't need to fight these guys, I'll call out the best guy and I'll try fight him and like cement myself in that top 10. I like that attitude. Being brutally honest, I like Sean. I don't think he's got the best personality. I think he's a bit dry.
Hi.
But he's not this exciting person that when you talk, you're like, oh my God, you are like lighting up my world. It's like, no, it's the tone in which he speaks isn't that like charismatic. He's not trying to sit there and give you any like bubbly effect. Like he has great content on social media, like him punching like the Piotr Jan little dummy. It's brilliant, like him smoking joints and doing his little Lamborghinis. Like, it's great, well done. And he's good at what he does. Yeah, exactly, he's got that brand, he's nailed it. And I believe there are question marks, like there are on 99% of fighters in the world. If your name isn't GSP, Khabib or John Jones, you have a question mark. What are my first impressions on Paulo Costa? He's a big dude.
What do you think his struggle has been in his recent fights?
The fact that he's got T-Rex arms. Genuinely, that's his biggest struggle. If that guy had a long reach, he'd be an absolute savage. But he is forced to have like these inside wars. He's big, he's fast, he's aggressive, and I like his fighting styles. Like, he's not afraid of anyone. When you look at Paulo Costa, it's like, oh cool, I have seen Yoel Romero. The shoey, the man with the shoes. I love everything about him. I think he's good crack, he puts on good fight styles. I absolutely love and adore his tattoos. I think they're sick. He's fun, has a good laugh, and puts on a show.
Would you ever do a shoey?
No, I don't drink, no, I'm an athlete. He's a heavyweight. He doesn't need to be an athlete, mate. That's the difference. That guy can hit someone and just sleep them. Adesanya is phenomenal at what he does. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a great champion. Legend. He's an absolute legend. I slid into his DMs the other week to tell him after that fight still proves that he is the best striker in the sport. Everything about his striking style is beautiful to watch. It is just pure controlled violence. I think his rivalry with Pereira is interesting because obviously having lost to him now a third time, it brings on that thing. It's like you beat him every time until you don't, and it's that one shot. That guy just hits so fucking hard. He has had the most insane UFC career to date out of anyone, I would argue. I don't think anyone's had a better UFC career up until this point. 250 something shots to to 1 or to 2 or whatever it was. It's fucking incredible. And he's a badass. Like, he's cool. I like it. I like his attitude. That fight against Gilbert Burns was special. Like, Gilbert's a teammate of mine, and I watched how excited he was getting ready to fight Khamzat. I'll tell you a funny story about Khamzat. We got in the elevator, and me and my wife were standing there, pressed the button, doors open, Khamzat and his missus. I'd love to have a fight here. I'd love to just swing hands with Khamzat in the middle of an elevator. I'd love it.
Ooh, you're hard showing off.
The stories are doing fucking cool, and my missus like that, looking at me like her eyes popped out of her fucking skull, and she's like, do it, like, have a fight with him. And I'm like, my fucking team, like, in my head, I'm like, my teammate's about to fucking fight him tomorrow. I'm not fucking ruining that. Also, there's 2 fucking women in here. Me and him are gonna go to the death if we fight in an elevator. We step out of the lift, and my wife just looks at me and goes, you're a pussy. Oh, Paddy the Paddy. Paddy's a character. He's great for the sport because casuals know who he is. He's a genuine person that's not fake. I think everyone knows that in the world. He is him. Like, even when he gets fat, he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm fat, and what? I remember being on a bus with him, and there was a song playing, and he just started screaming the song out loud. And he's like, oh, I bust started turning up with the fucking belter. I think in regards to his skill set, he's a lot to prove, especially in his division. Like, his division is unbelievable. Everything he's done in the UFC has been great. There are a lot of speculations on, can Paddy go in there and deal with someone who can stop the takedown, deal with someone who can hit harder than he can? Can he deal with these crisp, clean strikers? We have to find out. After I knocked out Jordan Williams in the first round, Madison Square Garden, the whole place is electrified. One of the security men comes over to me and goes, everyone, Dana wants to meet him. And I'm like, all right, sweet, cool. I'm like just half naked in my shorts, blood on my face, walking in. He's like, no one else is allowed in. Everyone stopped. Came in, he had a big smile on his face. He shook my hand. He said, man, what a fucking knockout. He's like, I'm excited to have you here. I'm glad you're a part of the organization. I just want to keep putting a smile on his face like that, because that means that he's happy with what I've done, and it means that we'll have a good relationship. I'd love to sit down with him one day and talk about my plans and come up with an idea to shock the world. But I think he's a guy who I want to make very happy. He is the biggest liability in the world. Oh my God. I find him hilarious.
Do you just run your fucking mouth? No, I will get out right now and fuck you up.
I find Strickland so funny, but also to an extent, it's like, dude, you can't fucking say some of the shit you say. Like, we were backstage on International Fight Week in the changing room, and he looks at me. And the shit he started saying, I'm like, I actually can't even repeat it. I won't repeat it out of respect for the guy. Like, he's fucking like, he just says stuff that you just fucking need to censor out everything the guy says, basically. He's a massive liability on camera. Don't put a camera in the guy's face, because he's gonna give you shit that you're like, oh wow, can I even post this?
Listen, bro, you're gonna break a fucking nail. Calm down. No, is he? He's a solid guy. He's a good guy. I know Judge's cartoon porn addiction.
He's an exciting fighter. He has, he wants to scrap, and everyone likes to scrap. Even though he's like, come on, like he wants people to fucking hit him in the face. He's like, do it, let's go. Like, you're like, this guy is fucking mental, and he is mental. There's that line of don't cross it, and then there's Sean Strickland. My best mate. Right. Yeah, my best friend. Get the fuck out of here, team captain. No, he's not. He likes to take that leadership role because he has loads of fights. He's looked at me before, he's like, I've had 10,000 hours in this sport. How many have you had? I was like, I haven't. Oh, that's my fucking flex on you, pal. He's funny. I like Mike. He's had 5 fights in the UFC. Name someone who's had more entertaining fights in the UFC. There is no one. Whether it's him getting the shit kicked out of him, or whether it's him kicking the shit out of someone else, he has been in wars and have put on amazing shows for the fans. Hooker, Poirier, Oliveira, Gaethje, Ferguson. That's a list of savages. And I try wind him up. I try poke the bear a little bit. I say, why not? Okay, come on, let's go. We're teammates. I'm gonna wind you up. That's one thing I love doing, is annoying people, irritating them. And he walks around heavier than I do. Like, I look at him, I'm like, how on earth do you cut that much weight? Like, he's huge. Like, he's a big, small man. Like, he's jacked. Small, but jacked. He's my favorite fighter in the UFC. His charisma, his attitude, his team, his whole journey in the UFC, the fact that his whole team dye their hair, they're all like huddled around, like it's a family. And when you look at this kid and mentally kind of think and put yourself in his shoes about where he came from and what he's done, it's phenomenal. And I just love his attitude. Have you seen that video about when they took the belt off him? Like there were stories going around that he's not the champion anymore.
Papai, eles pegaram seu cinturão. Aí eu falava, não, vai lá na casa do papai lá, pra ir pra sua mãe levar lá, volta lá. Olha lá, o cinturão tá no mesmo lugar. E tipo, porra, sua ex-mulher tem que levar sua filha lá pra ela acreditar que tá lá.
It touched me, like it made me feel emotional. I seen him once before and I felt like I had to say it to him. I'm learning Brazilian, I'm speaking it, I'm trying, I can understand it, but I couldn't say what I wanted to, the way I wanted to say it to him. So I grabbed my wife by the hand, I said, come with me please. And I grabbed Charles, I grabbed him by the shoulder, I said, Layla, can you please tell him that like his daughter should know that he is still the champion of the world and he is the best fighter in his division, and that no matter what, she should think that. And he just gave me the biggest hug. It was just such a cool moment for me, but that guy is absolutely my favorite fighter in the UFC right now. Is it Conor McGregor by any chance? No, what I guess.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
What do you want me to say about him? Because I can say so much, every fucking word, every press conference, every fucking, like, everything that guy did, I knew about. Every one of my mates, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and there's this fucking loud, brash Irishman who's punching the head off people on this amazing platform that is the UFC. And I remember sat there, and my heart is beating out my chest watching fucking Conor versus Mendes. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, Mendes is the one person who like could potentially pose the biggest threat to Conor, like an American wrestler. He hasn't fought that. And I'm like, fucking shitting myself when he gets Conor down and he has him on his back and he goes to the guillotine, I think it was. Conor spins out, gets top. He's fucking rushing him. He lands that left and you see him wobble. I'm like, oh, here we go. I fucking lost it. I was up, I fucking flinging drinks everywhere. I was so fucking excited. And I knew from that point on, I knew there was nothing that could stop the man. I knew he was gonna win. I was sat watching the fight. My mate's uncle was there. He was like, he's not gonna beat this Aldo fella. I said, I bet you any amount of money he'll beat him in the first round. And he was like, all right, what do you want to put on it? I said, I tell you what, you give me a number. If he loses, I'll pay you that. If not, you just tell me I was right. That's it. That's all I wanted from him. I was like, I just wanted you to know that I knew that. And 13 seconds later, the man looks at me and goes, prick. Conor's whole career was motivational, like for everyone in Europe, I think. Watching his rise, watching the way he captivated like the audience and the way he spoke and the way he acted, and a global superstar. Like everybody knows him now because of the way he acted, the way he performed, and a fucking good businessman. He knew what he was doing, was just motivational and inspiring, and part of the reason why I'm here today. I've been Ian Michelle Garry, and I've talked a lot of shit. It's time for me to go home. Have a good day.